Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif criticized former Prime Minister Imran Khan, calling him the so-called Munsif, and accusing him of trying to undermine the Pakistan Kidney and Liver Institute.
याद करें, मैं वक्त नहीं ज़ाया करना चाहता, मगर ये एक दिलखराश वाक़या है तारीख़ का कि किस तरह एक सो कॉल्ड मुनसफ ने एक साजिश करके PKLI को तबाह करने की भरपूर कोशिश की। हालांकि PKLI बनने से पहले मरीज़ हिंदुस्तान जाते थे जिगर के इलाज के लिए। PKLI के बोर्ड को किस तरह उस ज़माने की हुकूमत ने तबाह किया। उस बोर्ड में काबिल तरीन डॉक्टर थे, बहुत ज़हीन मेडिकल एक्सपर्ट्स थे। उस बोर्ड का ख़ात्मा किया गया, उसको दोबारा मैंने वो ट्रस्ट बनाया था, ट्रस्ट हुकूमत पंजाब के अंदर उसका ख़ात्मा किया गया, उसको दोबारा महकमा हेल्थ के हवाले किया गया और उसकी तबाही में उस मुनसफ नाम नहाद मुनसफ ने कोई कमी नहीं की। लेकिन आज अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह दोबारा हालात बदले तो वहाँ पर अब हज़ारों लोग फैज़ याब हो रहे हैं।
Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Jinnah Medical Complex, Sharif announced the government's plan to provide 100% free medical treatment to those in need nationwide. In a related development, Imran Khan, currently incarcerated, claimed he is being caged like a terrorist and denied basic rights, according to the Sunday Times. Meanwhile, Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Ada Tarar, accused Khan's party, PTI, of inciting violence and suggested that recent attacks, including an extremist assault on the Pakistani consulate in Frankfurt, might be linked to PTI's actions.
एक वाकया हुआ है फ्रैंकफर्ट जर्मनी में, जहां पे पाकिस्तानी काउंसलेट के ऊपर हमला किया गया। हमारा दोस्त मुल्क है जर्मनी, दफ्तर खारजा ने अपना एहतजाज रिकॉर्ड करवाया है उनको, और सख्त एहतजाज रिकॉर्ड करवाते हुए ये कहा है और मुतालबा रखा है कि पाकिस्तानी मिशन की सिक्योरिटी को यकीनी बनाया जाए, सिक्योरिटी के लैब्स के लिए जो लोग ज़िम्मेदार हैं उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लिया जाए, और जो लोग इस वाक़े में मुलव्विस हैं उनको गिरफ्तार किया जाए। अगर इसके अंदर सियासी एलिमेंट्स मौजूद हुए और जो खान साहब अक्सर उकसाते हैं लोगों को वायलेंस के ऊपर, तो फिर खान साहब नहीं उनको बचा सकेंगे। ये बिल्कुल क्लियर बात है।
The Foreign Office condemned the attack on the Frankfurt consulate, criticizing German authorities for their failure to protect the diplomatic mission. Looking ahead, the provincial disaster management authorities of Punjab and Sindh have issued warnings about potential flash floods in various cities due to expected heavy monsoon rains from Monday to Thursday. On the international front, Hamas welcomed Pakistan's recent declaration condemning Israel and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, calling for global support for Palestinians facing severe conditions. Israeli airstrikes over the past 24 hours have killed 64 people and injured over 100 in Gaza, according to local health officials. Recent attacks concentrated on the Nuseirat refugee camp in central Gaza. The total death toll since October 7 has reached at least 38,983 Palestinians, with 89,727 others injured. Displaced families in Gaza face severe shortages of clean water and are suffering from diseases. The Israeli military has started vaccinating troops against polio after detecting the virus in Gaza, though no human cases have been reported. In latest escalation, the Houthis in Yemen have vowed to continue their attacks on Israel without limitations. The port of Eilat in Israel will cut half its workers due to attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Meanwhile, the Israeli military targeted a Hezbollah cell in Hula, southern Lebanon, with a drone strike that caused injuries. Hezbollah announced the death of Mustafa Hassan Fawaz, also known as Fida. Since October, cross-border violence has resulted in 516 deaths in Lebanon and 31 in Israel. These developments come amid international calls for an end to Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory following a recent International Court of Justice ruling. Bangladesh's Supreme Court has eliminated most of the job quotas for government positions, following widespread student-led protests. The court's appellate division dismissed a lower court's decision that had reinstated the quotas. As a result, 93% of government jobs will now be filled based on merit alone. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government initially abolished the quota system in 2018. However, it was reinstated last month by a lower court, triggering protests and a severe crackdown by the government. In response to the unrest, the government imposed a curfew in Dhaka, where the protests have been most intense, and deployed soldiers to maintain order. Internet and text message services have been suspended since Thursday, cutting off communication as police enforced the curfew and banned public gatherings. The curfew has been extended to 3 p.m. local time, with a temporary break for people to collect essential supplies. Fighting in northeast Ukraine resulted in at least 2 deaths before dawn, according to law enforcement agencies. The Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office reported that 2 men, aged 48 and 69, were killed. About 50 buildings were damaged in the attack, which apparently used 3 Russian Iskander missiles. In a separate incident, artillery shelling in Nikopol, a city in the south, killed a 44-year-old man, according to national police. The death toll from a Russian attack on a playground in Mykolaiv on Friday rose to 4, including 1 child, with 24 injured, as reported by Mayor Oleksandr Senkovich on Telegram. Ukraine's Air Force reported that air defense systems destroyed 35 of the 39 attack drones Russia launched overnight. Russia also conducted its 5th drone attack on Kyiv in 2 weeks. Ukraine's air defense systems destroyed all the drones before they could reach the capital, with no casualties or damage reported. Meanwhile, Russia's Ministry of Defense reported that 8 Ukrainian drones were destroyed overnight, including 3 over the Belgorod region and 3 in the Black Sea. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Ukraine needs long-range weapons to protect its cities and troops from Russian bombs and drones, following the recent attacks.